Say it.
Cheese.
Say, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Let me see the hat. Oh, yeah. Is Batman your favorite?
Yes.
Or is it Superman?
Yes.
Is it Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Batman. Ooh, look at that hair. Put the hat back on. Alright, what's good, guys? So as you see here, we have got the Mafex Amazing Spider-Man figure. Now this figure is Shartimus Prime's. He sent it to me for a loaner. We exchanged figures. You know, he borrows some of mine, I borrow some of his, and that's just a nice, you know, a friend trust right there, being able to, you know, do stuff like that. Because we know how to take care of each other's figures and whatnot. But just to show, you know, different you know, our different viewers that we have. I mean, pretty much everybody who subscribed to me subscribes to Shartimus, but you know, there's some figures that he doesn't have, which I can send out to him, and you know, he reviews on his channel. And same thing with mine, because I passed on this figure. I've got the Mafex Batman figure, the Dark Knight Rises figure, and that's an amazing figure. But this one, I think this figure is better in a way. I mean, the articulation is so smooth. Just the different interchangeable hands you can get with this figure. You can see he's got the web shooter hands going. He's got the wall crawling hands. And then, let's see if I can bring it to, you see he's got all these other hands in there too as well. I mean, he's got kind of the web slinging. And then he's got like regular relaxed hands. Fist, of course. See? Fist. So it's a really, really spectacular figure. Spectacular. See if we can get in there close on the detail. See, I love the way those eyes look. You see, you got the lens. That's truly impressive. You can see the reflection in there. I mean, great stuff. I mean, this is such a really cool figure. And similar to the Batman figure, it's got this soft chest right here, which I don't know the purpose of that, but you know, it's a nice feeling. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know if it's for durability issues or whatnot. And then the one thing I really like about these figures is how, you know, the neck movement works in the head. You see how low his head can get. See, the neck moves, and then the head moves separately. Push back. So very, very nice articulation with these figures. The head pops off easily, so you don't have to worry about breaking it up, whatnot. The shoulders, now these things do pop out of place, but that's to be expected, especially with the, I know with the Batman figure how that happens. But still, you get some nice movement. You got the shoulder articulation that rolls around. See, his arm just pops out. I mean, it's made to do that. So very good. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, of course. He's got a lot of wrist rotation because these things are interchangeable. You just pop them off. He's got the upper diaphragm, which you get a lot of movement in. See how low? If I can get to stand him up. Some weird poses going on here. Then it's got a waist swivel, so on top of the diaphragm swivel, you get a waist swivel, and then you got like, okay, his leg can go up about that far. Then you can do like the figure arts thing and extend it, and then you can really get some range of motion in, which is very cool. Very, very cool. Both legs do that. Double jointed knees, of course. It's got a great ankle. I mean, look how far up that goes. It goes down pretty good. And it does have an ankle pivot. Not as deep as a lot of figures, but it still works great. I mean, all around, just a super, super impressive figure. I mean, I really dig this thing a lot. I'm kind of regretting not getting one, but it's all good. I might try to pick one up at the con if I can. If not, then maybe they'll do a re-release or whatnot. But big thanks to Shartimus Prime for lending me out this figure. So here's the two figures side by side. And why is it going blurry all of a sudden? You can see both figures I think are amazing. I mean, it's just a matter of preference, which one you really like more. I mean, the Batman has its style, the Spidey has its own, you know, unique style. I mean, both these figures are great. Articulation, accessories, a lot of fun factor, and that's what we want, you know, in these figures nowadays. Just to be able to have the interchangeable parts. Just, you know, when you first open a figure out of the package and you just really can't put it down. I mean, that's what you're looking for, and both these figures really do have. Now, Shartimus also sent out 2 other figures for me to take a look at. He just thought I would, you know, be interested in seeing these figures, and how Hasbro has made a nice progression in a way. Now, he knows I don't collect Legends anymore, but, you know, I'm still a fan. You know, I still enjoy watching what people, you know, collect and whatnot. I will say that the Ironmonger is a nice figure. I'm actually really surprised on how well this thing actually did come out. This is like the comic series, I believe. I mean, that blue on here is fantastic. I am so impressed with the paint that they used. I mean, it is really dope. It's got the nice, I don't know, almost pearl-like blue. If that's even true. I mean, it's just so shiny, and as Shartimus would say, it's got that shimmery look on it. I mean, look at that thing, and even the visor is really nice. I mean, you can see how it's here first, you know, how it's brighter right there, then kind of dulls out to the side. I love that. I mean, that is really cool. Got the chest piece. I mean, that's pretty dope. The wiring, it kind of reminds me of like Apocalypse, but I actually like that function. Very cool. Now, I don't have the 3 3/4 inch figure to compare it to, but from what I understand, it's almost the same figure in a way. So you can tell Hasbro's still getting work off of Dave Vonner, even after he's not with the company anymore. But the articulation is pretty good on this figure. Has nice head movement. Does not go up too far as you want, but still a nice, good range. I mean, it looks down really well. It's got a diaphragm joint. Of course, he's got the arm articulation, which is kind of hindered by this pad here, but you can still get up there pretty high. Got out movement pretty good. Bicep does not seem to want to go, so I'm not going to force it. It's got jointed elbow, rotation at the wrist. Now, the legs are really cool because you can go out like that, or in and out, pretty good. Double jointed knees, ankle movement, and it has an ankle pivot. Surprisingly, look at that. So this figure is really dope. I'm really digging this figure. Look at that, that is really cool. Now the Mark 42, on the other hand, it's not so great in my opinion, especially for a movie figure. Seeing what they did for Iron Man 2 figures, this one is kind of on the weak side to me. I mean, it's got, you know, good motion here and there. I don't know if it has interchangeable parts. He just sent me the figure as is, but that hand movement's pretty good. It's really impressive. It's got this part right here is a little soft, so you can bring it up a little bit, but still not the type of repulsor blast you would want. I mean, yeah, you'd want it to go a little further. Not a bad figure. It's got good head movement going up. Not the best, but it's still good. The paint, I think, is probably my biggest problem. It's not as, I would say, as clean as the Ironmonger there, but all around, you know, it's not a bad figure. I wouldn't necessarily pick it up. Yeah, good feet movement. That's pretty cool. Does it have an ankle pivot? It does. Look at that. Cool. Not a terrible figure, but probably not the best movie figure. Well, the first run, the first Iron Man movie figures were pretty bad. This one's not too bad. But anyways, the Ironmonger, like I said, is probably the best figure I've seen Hasbro do in a while. I mean, that is tremendous right there. I really like it. Once again, thanks to Chartemis for sending this out to me, man. I really appreciate that. Alright, so here we go. We got the long-awaited, highly anticipated Dragon Ranger. For many of us grew up in the States here, you know, we know him as Tommy, you know, the Green Ranger. And over in Japan, I don't even know what he's called actually, I forget his name. But it's just crazy the way the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers here is so much different from the Japanese version. I mean, spoiler alert, this guy, he doesn't lose his powers in the show, he actually dies, which I thought it was a trip. I was actually watching some of it on YouTube. Very, very cool stuff. You can see all the different things he comes with. He's got his, you know, the little dragon sword, the flute thing. He's got the dark sword. And then he's got that specialty belt. Now, from what I understand, that they showed this on the Japan version, because I've never seen it on the American version, but we'll get more of that later. But it looks good. Definitely looks really, really dope. Red Ranger should be out next month as well. And then I actually picked up some display pieces, perfect for 6-inch figures. Now I've never tried any of these before, so it's going to be a nice little test. And this was dirt cheap. I think it was like 14 bucks maybe. I think maybe even cheaper than that. Alright, time to crack him open. So out of the packaging, here he is in the little clamshell. Sword came out looking nice. Dagger looks good. And then the way they pose their figures in here, so there's no, you know, bending of the arms or anything like that. Nothing to really warp your figures. It's got a bunch of hands. It's got a couple of weapon holding, fists, extra weapon holding. It's even got the dagger, so you can do the flute kind of thing. Then he's got the open kind of hand. And then those are the bonus accessories, which I probably won't display them in because I've never seen that version before. Alright, then we got my figure of the week. Like I said, a highly anticipated figure. Here we got Dragon Ranger. Now, like I've said before, the American version, we know him as Tommy. The Japanese version, I don't know what his name is, but that's the version I'm going to take. Now, there is an American release coming out, which will have, I believe, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger logo and all that on the box. You know, this one is, I think, the Japanese release, but just an amazing, amazing figure. Now, if you know past, you know, Ranger figures, and you know the articulation and all that stuff, and limitations here and there. I mean, it's figure art, so you get a lot of movement, accessories, plenty of accessories. I mean, different hands. Here's the dark sword, which I think is just amazing looking. I mean, that came out really nice. I mean, that detail was so cool. I mean, just look at the way that crystal just, you know, shines in there. Ooh, that is a clean sword. I actually like this sword more than the dagger. You see, he's got the holster for his dagger. Let's pull that out. Very, very nice. Great detail. Great detail. Oh, he's down. So very cool. I mean, I forgot it always, you know, doubled as a flute, which you can put him in that flute pose, which I'll probably show later. Let's look at the detail on him. Very, very stylish. The helmets on these Rangers, I think, are amazing. The only Rangers I do own are the SPD Rangers, Deca, for the people who know the Japanese version. I mean, just look at all that. The paintwork on him is clean all the way around. Very, very dope. That helmet is so clean. Now, his chest piece, this armor, does not come off. You know, it looks like it would be able to. I mean, it's got a little bit of movement in there, but with the straps, they're molded on here, so it does not come off. But just enough wiggle room to give you the illusion that it does. So that's kind of cool. You see the belt there. One thing that is kind of disappointing is that the morpher does not come off. I know with my SPD Rangers, you have the morphers that can, you know, detach from the back and they can hold it. So that's a letdown, but you know, it's not the biggest letdown in the world. All around cool. Now, one thing I will point out that I don't like is this slit right here in the middle. That just looks really off to me. I just don't like that look. I mean, what's that all about? You got a target on his ass? Oh man. I mean, like that I don't mind, but right there in the crotch area, it's just does not look right to me. For articulation, his head can move down really far. That's pretty good. Head can go up about that far. It's not the best, but it works. And then you got the diaphragm joint, of course, which gives you more range of motion. Now the shoulder system is different than most figure arts. I mean, these go with the Rangers. You got that socket in there that rotates all around. It even acts as a swivel. You can see you still get the motion. Does not have a bicep swivel, so this shoulder replaces that. Still get some great movement. Double jointed elbows, of course. Interchangeable wrist, hands I should say, so your wrist got all kinds of movement. Does have a swivel at the waist. Now what you do is you can pop this off, and then that's how you put the other belt on, which I'm not going to do. But other than that, yeah, no reason to put that belt on. It's got the range of motion, feet go up like that, or leg goes up, and then you got that figure arts thing, bam, to get extra range, so that's always dope. Double jointed knees. Now the knees, you know, like I've said before, with the Play Arts, has that kind of move, you know, that look, which is not great by any means. So it's just, that's one of my pet peeves with these figures. But other than that, I mean, when you have it like that, I mean, it looks great. I mean, that's cool. But then this kind of throws it off. It's not the worst thing in the world, but something that I hope they work on in the future. Great ankle movement. I mean, it goes down really far. Does not go up too far, but it does have toe joint, so you can still get that motion. And then of course, ankle pivot. Great ankle pivot at that. Just all around, just excellent, beautiful figure. I really dig it all the way. These Ranger figures are coming up really fast and strong. I believe the Red Ranger is out next month, and then later on after that will be the Pink Ranger. And no pictures yet of the rest of the Ranger team, but I'm pretty sure they will be on the way as well.